Celestial armor. Well, we might be able to do something like that. What kind of... When you say celestial, what kind of celestial armor would you like? Well, he says, there's some chainmail I have here. Now, this armor itself, this one, yes. He goes and he brings it out. It has a, it's a chainmail type of outfit. It's light chainmail. It looks like it's very light feel to it, and the under armor of it has a golden hue to it. He goes, now this is a little different. Mostly these come in red underneath, but I've gotten this one in gold. Actually, heck, I got it from somebody from the Celestial Planes, come to think of it. Oh well, been a while. But he goes, this one doesn't move as much, so I will give it to you at the 25,400 value. He goes, that is very fair. If it was a mover, I might charge you a little more, but it's not been. Oh no, he goes, it sizes to you as you are. He goes, be my guest. He goes, oh wait, and he claps, and another gnome comes running up and brings up a little, like the little things they put up that you dress behind. He gives you one of those and sets it out, and he goes, be my guest. He goes, you shouldn't be viewed in changing, and not that that's a bad thing, but modesty. I want to give you that modesty, being that you're a lady. and you go back and it just feels amazing. It's light. You don't feel like it's going to hamper your dexterity at all. You will be just as mobile as possible. But you do have to have, do you have medium armor type of capability on that addressed to you? Double check it under your proficiencies. If you got medium, it is, but it's chainmail. But there is he asks, he goes, too much? Enough? Maybe something different? It is so light. It'd be like almost like you are wearing light armor. It is considered... Oh, actually, no. It is considered light armor and allows the wearer. So, it is under the consideration. Yeah, exactly. So, it does. It feels like you are wearing a chain shirt, basically, in things. And the other bonus with it is it will allow you up to a dex bonus of +8 and a check penalty of only -2 to your skills. And then only a 15% spell failure. Pliable. Yes. Does he get a save to it or not? Yes, there you go. See, aww. Yeah, yeah. Ark, you get the feeling. Do a perception check. You have been around things before, and do a perception check. So Cressa says to Felix, she goes, "I am from Osirian, out in the deserts past Sothis originally." She says, "I have traveled since then. Actually, being here is kind of a new one for me. So, aha. Oh, lovely. So that's a bluff of 30. All right. So she's doing the bluff. Let's see what he does. You get the feeling you're being watched by Dorian. Dorian just smirks a real fayish smirk. And you get the feeling he doesn't buy anything you're selling at this point. And Starlissa just whispers, she goes, you have to wake up pretty early to fool this little shit. She says. Yes, she says. He is a sharp tool. Are you? Truth. Yes, that was hard, I know. All right. I love that. That's Mr. Little. Yeah, exactly. Oh. Mm-hmm. Well, using his wonderful mythic display of intelligence to add to his, he goes, "You are interesting." He goes, "I can see why Lissa likes running with you." He goes, "I can work business deals with you, but you're not going to get 20. He goes, that only comes not even from family. He goes, "I'll give you 8% discount." And that's a good bargain. So, let's figure out what the 8% of that is. You just get the feeling that, yeah, you couldn't have gone much more on that one with him because he just is shrewd. He's as shrewd as they come. Boneyard? Yeah, exactly. All the things you deal with out here, it's like... So he goes... so 2,061 platinum, and it's a deal. Or basically 2,610 is going to be the gold amount. He goes, and that's a steal. And he looks at Liz and he goes, you bring me the most interesting customers sometimes. And she just chuckles. She goes, well, if you consider myself as one of them. Well, not here, she says, but I run into him a lot. Everywhere I go. It's almost like he keeps tabs on me. And he just laughs. He goes, never, never would I do such a thing. She goes, oh, I can find him. So it is, 20,610. So, and now you have it. Yeah, so a lot of people... Markio reads the Wealth of Nations, exactly. Business bouncing and beyond. Oh, my lord. You guys, too much. You get the feeling he would be an interesting one, too. He is definitely not your ordinary gnome, by any means. Yeah, it's just kind of how it flows. He goes, anyone else? He goes, this is good business today. I'm more than happy to, do different things. Let's see. Felix gets Max some stuff. All right. So you find out she's been to some interesting ruins up to the north of Osirian. Actually, to one of the cities that has sunken partially, and she has some interesting stories there that perk your ears with interesting oddities. It was one of the cities that was created by the 4 Pharaoh dynasty, which is a pretty powerful dynasty. And they had some pretty powerful, almost relical magic items out there, as well as a lot of things you don't want to run into. But it was one of the cities that fell, and it was a great city. Let's see, in fact, let's go to here, and I can do the map of Osirian, and I can tell you exactly which one it was. Alright. Give me 2 seconds, and I can tell you where she's been. Alright. So, where she is talking about is, here, I have to save it and then blow it up so I can see it. Yeah, there we go. Now that lets me zoom in. Finally, I can zoom. You know where Totra is, but she has been to the... Hang on here. The... Shepeska. Shepeska is where she's been to, which is one of the original dynastic cities. So that has you perked up. That's about as adventurous as going to an old Azlant city and picking around the ruins. That's how powerful of nature that one is. So that's a nice little tidbit you were able to, while drinking, get out of her. And the fact that she knows its location and can point you that direction easily says a lot. So you can put that down under the notes as, where she has been. All right. Yes. Oh God, yes. He goes, the tavern that's over there, and he points to the one that Max went to. He goes, they're reasonable on prices and fairly safe. He goes, you can get a room, probably a nice room, a big room that would fit all of you for probably 2 gold. Very fair. Yeah, and clean and well kept, especially on this plane. So, okay, so from Adrestia selling padded sea dress with silver and some base. Yeah, so the sea dress, do you remember what you paid at the boutique for it? Or no, you didn't pay, did you? You got it for free. All right, so for the padded, he'll give you this, and all right, so, and again, all in platinum, but that's what he'll offer you for the padded and for the others. So basically, 680 platinum or 6,800 gold for the lot. Not a bad deal. So, all right, so he looks at you, Sil, and he goes, yes. Yeah. I mean, you can do that, and if you got the money, no problem. Let's see. Sil already sold her. Yes, you already did that and got that all out the way, so not a problem. Unless you need something else from Dorian. What are we stealthing on? Yeah. See, Markeo is stealthing. Yeah, the aquatic dress. It's a good dress, but this will protect her maybe a little more than the old stuff did, because it's a +3 chain shirt. It's +3 chainmail in actual value, even though it acts like a chain shirt in functionality. If that makes sense in the lightness, but you get the value of +3 chainmail for it, addressed to you. For the defensive. At the moment, to the bar. All right. So go ahead and move to the bar with Max and his Gertablelu friend. And again, Cressa is an interesting individual, to say the least. He goes, is there anything else I can help with? He looks over at you, Ark, and he goes, would you like anything? No problem. So where are you now, says Cressa? Or where are you from originally? Oh. Oh, yeah. Not far from that city, the sky city that came down and shattered, she says. Oh, yes. Up there in the border regions, of course. He goes, she goes, that's an interesting area. I find it a little harder to travel, but not horrible for me. She goes, underwater. As soon as you say that, she's like, no. She goes, my sort do not do well underwater. Though I appreciate it. She goes, we don't do well underwater. Not our cup of tea. We become bait under there, she says. I'm not in the mood to be bait. The whole underwater thing. But yeah, she asks Ark, and she even looks over at Shara and Lyra, and he goes, anything I can help you ladies with? I suspect you're also with Lissa. Yeah, it's just a standard. It is a, depending on what you want magic. A +1 would be, let's see, where are my things there? Just need to grab that. There it is. Because it's different from armor. Unfortunately, they have different values for armor and weapons. I'm going to like the new Pathfinder 2E, which is much more simplified when it comes to that. They made it much easier to work with. Alright, on that one, it's going to be, let's see. They have the values on it, of course. They probably do. Specific armor, specific things, and specific costs. Where are they? Alright. Always love having to get into there. It would be 1600 GP, and then 2 is 4800 GP. So depending on what you bought will be the cost on that tail blade. It's either 1600 or 4800. If you want to go ahead. Oh yeah, that would be the +2 one, I believe she offered on that they can do. But yes, again, he goes, interesting, you don't carry a lot of weapons, but not that you'd have to, he says, looking at Ark. He goes, now you, looking at Shara, he goes, I can help you all day long. Depending on what kind of bow you want. Oh, of course. He goes, do me a favor. Show me your bow. He goes, either one. You can show either one. All right. And the composite Lombro is your reliquary one, right? Your Aristalian reliquary one. He goes, you might keep that for show or for putting up on the mantle. But he goes, yeah. And what's your other one? He says. Yes. He goes, why don't we look at this? He goes, I actually got this from the elemental plane of water. Kind of a fun place to go. Not always the best place. But he goes, I found one of these which was kind of unique. But he goes, this one here might be of interest to you. Now, he goes, with the distancing bow, as you might want to know about, he goes, that one is an interesting one. He goes, the distancing will allow you to double the range increment for all of your range increments. Or actually, let's see, no, it would do it for... Yeah. A distance weapon has double the range increment of other weapons of its kind. So basically, it doubles your short range, doubles your medium, and doubles your longest range increments. So it makes it much better to hit things. And it's underwater, so it doesn't take away. And if it's out of water, it doesn't care. But underwater, it would give you back a bow. Now, he goes on that one. I could probably offer you a deal on it. Though I don't know. With Lissa and her friends sometimes, I wonder. He goes, I'll give it to you for 2,800 platinum or 28,000 GP. And it would give you some nice hitting capabilities. He goes, technically it's a +4 weapon, but in pluses, it only gives you so much to hit with. If you want it. So. Oh, he says, don't trade that. No. He goes, you must have other items you want to get rid of. I figured along the way, being with this one, he says, pointing to Starlessa, you found quite a few choice items. Better than tossing halflings. Yeah. He goes, I'll make you a deal of a lifetime. He says, bring me home Oh, you pique interest with ion stones. Let's see. What is our iridescent worth? Yep, ion stone 305. The iridescent. Let's take a look-see and see what we got here. Alright, so the ion stone, let's see, table on the next page, iridescent. Ooh, that sure covers a lot. No, it sustains. That iridescent one sustains her without air. He goes, alright. He goes, that covers 17.5 of the cost. So that means that you would owe me, see, the 28, 17, yeah, 10.5. So 10,500 GP. Which you probably have. Yes, definitely working on getting better terms. You wonder sometimes if maybe that had to do with the talk with Starlessa, but you don't know. Because again, you weren't there on that one, so you never know, Akeisha. Could have been. Maybe other things are bubbling around her mind. You find your Dhampir slowly... The Dhampir is slowly melting a little bit of the iciness that's there, and the sarcasm. Just a little. Syl, however, has not melted at all. She's still as icy as ever. Syl is just, yeah. Syl is Syl. Stoic as she is. Once in a while showing just a... Yes, 93 platinum, 73... Okay. So you would have 930. So that'd be about 1,600 gold. So you could take that then down to 89. Yeah, so 8,900 GP if she gives over the PP and the GP. Starlista goes, you know, Dorian, you are such the wheeler and dealer. And she reaches into her sack that's in her backpack, pulls out a big coin purse and flips it over, and it lands with a big ka-chink on the table. She goes, you owe me a discount next time. Basically, she threw over, yeah, that'd be about right. She goes, it's only because I get to deal with him and he's fair with me. She goes, I'm not always full of money. She just goes, Dorian is a good trade partner. 899 platinum is basically which is 89.90. Yeah, she gave him a little bit of a tip. She goes, the things I do. She goes, your mother would not be proud of you. Your father would. And he goes, oh, I know. He goes, oh, well, that I can do. I run across them all the time, he says. Well, he goes, it's not easy. Believe me, I have to fight my way around that, so. Yeah, it'll clean you out on money, but you know how it is. You'll get more items. It's not like you're going to be hurting for money. And you also get money when you come back as well from these adventures, because as you know, Talmander's bounty pays you on these kind of things, especially... Well, the other thing that you guys have got to take advantage of more, which again, being that he is the Pathfinder around, is you need to work a lot more with your Carver Hastings will pay you grandly for the stuff that you, and believe me, he's a Pathfinder linked guy. And if you don't think that the Decemvirate has money, the Decemvirate pretty much runs Absalom, the free city of Absalom, in a lot of ways. So the Decemvirate has more money than they know what to do with. They're the billionaires. I would call them the billionaire bunch, because they are. They're benevolent, fortunately, because most of the Decemvirate is benevolent. There are some bad ones. But, you know, it's like the one that sits in Sothis running the Silver Guild out there. That's like one of the right-hand people to the Ruby Prince. So, yeah, as you get to know the Pathfinder Society, they're a good bunch of people to work with, for the most part. She goes, She goes, good point. What do you have, Dorian? Oh, okay. Well, yes. I take it you're with the one who's bought the bow. He says with a knowing smile. He goes, that I can help with. Crossbows all day long. He goes, does it need to be underwater? I take it. Yes, of course it does. Well, let's see. I can get you. And what are you dealing with now? He says. She goes, well, a lich. he stands there for a minute and just kind of looks at all of you, and he goes, a lich? You are playing with a lich. He says, looking. He goes, So for a minute, you just You see Dorian's face go from mirthful to just deadpan. He goes, Lissa, and she goes, you didn't ask. He goes, unbelievable, unbelievable. He pulls out what looks to be a big bag, opens it, pulls out and slaps this light crossbow on the table. He says, give me 1,000 platinum. And Liz almost chokes. She goes, you're kidding me. He goes, no. He goes, you'll owe me a bunch of stories and maybe an item that you find from him. But he says, if you can end a lich, end the lich. He says, next time, information, please. Aurora knows. Aurora kind of knows something's going on, and she goes, fine. I didn't tell them that you are a slayer for Pharasma. I didn't thought it was necessary. He goes, necessary. He goes, I've spent my life fighting the Whispering Way, and it's not necessary. He goes, you are in trouble, pointing at her. He goes, you got a deal out of this. He goes, basically 1,000 platinum, no more. You know, looking at that item sitting on that table, that thing is probably worth about 3,000 platinum. He says, you keep that. You're going to need it. Don't even think about giving it to me. He goes, you want to give me something else? Fine. That stays with you. As any of those you need. He goes, you don't play with liches. You kill them. Dead. He goes, she shrugged. She goes, I didn't think it was my place to tell you. He goes, next time, my fellow Pathfinder, if you don't tell me these things, I will make sure you will get the discipline needed. He goes, look, it is one thing to play. He goes, we don't play when it comes to undead. He goes, dear lady, I appreciate the humor in all of this. He goes, I've been around close to 80 years. What do you think? Or more. In fact, yeah. He goes, Lissa doesn't tell you her age, because to most of you who live a 100-year life, you would probably gawk. He goes, she was like a young sister to me with her family. So, yeah. He goes, Lissa's probably about 65 years old. And you haven't told them that. But that's okay. Humans and humanoid kind don't understand that. Short. Well, there you go. He goes, the longer lived, you understand these things. So, He goes, that's the whole point. When you've lived long enough and you've gone through enough things, he goes, you find enough things. So. Well, he goes, the first thing you better find out where its phylactery is. If you don't find that, you can kill it 1,000 times and it's going to keep coming back. And he goes, and I promise you, this lich doesn't have the phylactery anywhere where you're going to go find him. It will be somewhere else. And you better find it. Because if you kill him, he will come back and haunt you. He will regenerate within a couple days and come after you with a vengeance. He goes, Oh, yeah, you know that what he's telling you is dead on correct. But, yeah. Yeah, you kind of... You could throw the name and see if he knows the name at all for you. Somewhere Felix's ears are itching right now. Yes. He goes... The drowned, he goes? The Azlanti. You're going against the Azlanti, as he's known. Do you know that he has destroyed 12 underwater cities with his might? Do you know that he has a mythic lifespan? You are going against a mythical lich. You might as well be going against Tar Bafan the way you're going at him. Or Geb. You could go against Geb and probably have about as much luck as Oberon. Yeah. Oh, you probably are. He goes... He goes... He looks at Lissa and he goes, you didn't tell them about Oberon? She goes, I only know a little bit. Oh my God. He pulls out a book. He goes, this is the book from Dervin Guest that talks about Azlant. He goes, Oberon the Drowned was from a royal Azlanti family back in the day. He was arrogant because of his magical aptitude. In fact, he's very adept at magic using. He basically... It's like, oh my God. He goes, I don't know much about the Trident, other than it was a place of learning back in the day. I do know that became his home that he took away from all of these others. And all I can tell you is that you're dealing with a very powerful creature. If that creature doesn't get eradicated, your little colony may not exist when he's done. He's eradicated cities. He goes, I'm not talking little tiny congregations of merfolk. And he goes, the Mordenspire would pay you handsomely for his head. The Mordenspire elves. He goes, the Pathfinder Society would pay you for some of the stuff he has down there. He goes, this lich explored planes. In fact, we have seen him before on other cities. Not here, of course, because Pharasma would eradicate him on sight. But he's been to the Abyss. He has been to Hell. He has been to... He goes, this lich is powerful, is all I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. Nah. Maybe that's a good place to look. He goes, well, then, anything else you're dealing with that I should know about, maybe, to... Who... As soon as you mention Spindletop, Dorian turns to you, Chunk. He goes, what did you just say? The Spindletop Initiative? I don't know much about Spindletop other than it was an Azlanti organization. But what I do know about is Spindletop was associated with the Veiled Masters. Are you dealing with a Veiled Master? He says, looking at you. And he says it quietly. Be very careful. Oh, it's already been given to you at a discount. He takes the trident without even a question. He goes, one other moderate magic item, and it's yours. He goes, I can tell you right now, you don't ever mention that name in the open. He says, I'm taking a risk mentioning it to you here. The Oberon name you mention wherever you want. He goes, the VM name you do not. He goes, you mention that name, you may not be in control of yourself down the line. That's all I will say. He says, it has been said that these run whole nations. Supposedly, the right hand to the Pack Lords in Katapesh is not human anymore and is one of the VM. He goes, supposedly it's been rumored that the head of our Pathfinder guild and the ruler of Absalom is one himself. He goes, these are creatures that morph their flesh, that don't just run around in one word. Yeah, like this one right here. He goes, where we come from, where originally Lissa and I are from, we know this man. We don't even say it in his presence. He goes, supposedly the Packmasters are not from this world. He goes, you think of everything as it revolves around Golarion. He says, Golarion has many alien presences here from other places that rule things. He goes, what do you think brought about the ruin, supposedly, of the Azlanti continent? He goes, the VM brought that down. About 7 of them. To destroy a continent of arrogant humans who thought they were better. They also destroyed a few of their brethren in the whole thing that were running the Azlanti Empire. That much I do know. And he goes, that much is fact. Through the Pathfinder ranks that I have talked with. He goes, that's why the Godstone is in Absalom. The Godstone is what helped make Iyamade who she is, Caden Kaleen who he is, and Norgorber who he is. They were humans once that passed the trial. They are now gods. He goes, of course, if you are hardy enough to go through the Starstone trial, absolutely. Be my guest, he says. About 1,000 others have tried and died. But you're welcome to. He goes, Caden. He passes over a +1 with no question to you. He goes, fair trade. Done. Yes. The Wand of Tree Stride, that would probably get you about 1,800 gold pieces from him. Or 180 platinum. 180 platinum. Yep. He goes, be very careful. He says, if you find things and you want to confer with me, fine. He goes, I will do my best to talk among the ranks of the Pathfinders to find you more information. Please. He says, please, either that or I will meet you at Carver Hastings. And yes, I know of Carver. And yes, Carver is part of our ranks. He is the Dervan guest wannabe of this generation. Understandable. He goes, he wants up there. He goes, as a venture lieutenant, I have to know these things. But, be very careful. He goes, and he hands a stone to Starlissa. He goes, call me if you need it. He says, I'll do my best. He goes, I can't guarantee I can stand up against a lich. Though, he says, I've fought my fair share of things in my time. But, he says, let me know, especially on the VM. He says, that is very important. He goes, I think they meddle more into the world of Galarian than you will ever choose to know. He goes, I wouldn't be surprised there are a few here. So be very careful who you associate and talk with and share things with. You never know when you run into one of their agents. He goes, they are the A word, basically drawing out what looks to be on the table an aboleth. On steroids. He goes, you probably fought an A word. He goes, they are much easier to kill. He goes, the V word is not. They have existed for thousands of years and don't age. Yes, they are. He goes, think of a demigod and think of mortals. The mortals serve the needs of the demigod. It's the same type of relationship. He goes, most of those will be mythical creatures, the V word, and of that type of survivability. Yes. If you were there, he would say yes. He thanks her. He goes, be safe. He says, she does not die, pointing to Starlissa. He goes, I know you have needs. She does not die. I don't want to have to explain to her family how she died fighting these things. He goes, you, looking at Starlissa, are way too curious, and she just sticks her tongue out at him. He goes, I see you, and I know. He goes, I've survived for a long time for a reason. He goes, yes, I am devoted to the causes, but no, I do not want to perish in the cause. So, He goes, you are welcome to the shop anytime. If you are dealing with these, I will give you different discounts. He goes, don't lie to me. I know liars really easy. He says, looking over at Mark Hale. He goes, I appreciate honesty, even though I use subterfuge myself. But I've been around way too long. As he looked at Mark Hale. Kind of calling her out. Yeah. Yes. Yes. That covered about 700 of the funds that were owed of the platinum. And with everything you guys have probably got most of it. He goes, the difference. He goes, bring the society some items we need. That's all I'm saying. He goes, I know you need things for your adventures and you need things to help you. I'm not foolish like many venture captains and lieutenants who think you should turn over everything to the society. He goes, in fact, I will work it to where I am your venture lieutenant going forward. And that my dear friend Carver will be reporting to me. It will piss. He says it will piss off the bountiful venture, but Andoran will live. Sometimes their ideals are a little too lofty. We live in a world that, yes, we want no slavery, we want no subjugation of any point. But unfortunately, Golarion doesn't always agree with this as a world. So we do the best we can to work through it. But, he says, I will make sure that you are watched over by the society much more actively. Originally, this venture was kind of a nice little thing to send Carver out on, to kind of give his ambitions a test. He goes, now you have the notice of the society. And yes, we will watch over. And for those that want to become members, just let me know. I will actively work your roles. I am not as draconian as some of my other fellow venture lieutenants. So. There you go. There you go. Geisha, that one's on you if you want to do that. And do the deal. He goes, yes, keep the other one, put it to whoever needs it. He goes, they exist and we tolerate them in certain nations. However, that said, when they go beyond and do things that they shouldn't, well, that's different. Pay your annual dues. He said that's not an issue. He says I can set you up. He goes, bring me a magic item or two a year that are of interest, that are unique, and you've paid your dues. He goes, mainly it is to further the knowledge of the Pathfinder Society. But, he says, I hold a dual Occam's Razor's role. He goes, that's why I'm a sleepless as well as a Pathfinder. Make a knowledge history check for anybody there. Not you, Felix. And you can make your sausage check if you want to, Chunk. Dang, that sausage. You know that they probably make some good sausages in the Boneyard. Yes. Yes, and a -4 inebriation. which Felix, the Gertiblelu basically smiles, pats you on the shoulder, and moves off. Make for me a sense motive check as she trundles off. Ooh, nice one with the... Yeah. You might. You might. That's okay. You are checking out the crossbow. Yes, a 19. The Sleepless Detectives are based, you believe, out of Ustalav. And they're kind of like a society, a paranormal society that keeps an eye on things that are not of this world, that influence the world. You think that... Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. She goes, my commander is from there. And we watch. We watch over all kinds of things. Even the society. Because sometimes the society has impure motives. But overall, it's a good organization. You would serve a dual role under me for both. Know that I have the greater balance of the world plus Pharasma in mind, which will help in your goals. Why do you think I'm here in the He goes, why do you think I'm in the Boneyard? He goes, I already know. He goes, Starlissa tends to keep me somewhat up to date on things since she reports to me as a documenter for the Pathfinders. She doesn't tell you that. That's because I've asked her not to. But No. He goes, you do good things. She just needs to be better at reporting things to me. She just impishly smiles and again sticks out her tongue. Fine. So, under your factions, for those that will slip into that role, just put Pathfinder Society and then a / Sleepless Detectives. He goes, the dues a year if you don't bring the items is about 1,000 gold a year. However, he says, bring me an item or two of choice things, especially if it's a dangerous item or an item that we don't want in the hands of someone else to try to control the world. And he goes, and your dues are paid, and more. And with everybody thinking, we will take a break here for lunch. Because I figure, yep. So, come back about 1:30. And good job, folks, of running into the right person. And of course, Aurora has now found more things to document about this whole thing. Yeah. It goes beyond what you already knew and is slowly going to another level. So, all right, folks.